Hi, good morning. So I've had a lot of people like my video about Kundalini. People often wonder, what is Kundalini? Well, Kundalini is a latent energy that's based at the bottom of our spine, that is based mostly in Indian philosophy, I believe. So basically the thought is, sometimes this energy is awakened by trauma. And that is not the type of awakening you want, obviously, but there's a lot of people who wake up from trauma and have that happen. There's thought that some people are born awake. There's thoughts that some people are called to awaken in this lifetime. But I wanted to just quickly share my story about how I awakened my Kundalini. Now, I didn't awaken my Kundalini on purpose. I was very naive and ignorant and didn't understand what was happening. I was living in Portland, Oregon at the time. This was in my early 20s, and I had a really good friend she was a hippie, and I love her. And she said, "Hey, Sam, do you want to go to this really cool meditation class with me?" I had no idea about Kundalini. I didn't know what it was at the time, and I was like, sure, okay, I'll go. So we go into this meditation class and we're sitting in chairs, and there's chairs around, like here. And at the front of the room, there's this woman, and she looks like a female Buddha, right? She's sitting up there and she's got white hair and she's very calm, and her energy is just very grounded and welcoming, and it was silent. So I come to find out that this meditation is a silent meditation with your eyes open, okay? And before this, I had never meditated, okay? So I'm sitting with my friend, and this woman is sitting at the front of the class, and she's literally sending us vibrations, energy from herself. But she would focus on each person in the class for about 5 minutes, and it made me laugh so hard. And I felt so immature, but at the time I had no idea what was going on. She was like sending me activation. Now that I realize what happens, she was sending me activation. And I did this meditation for about 3 sessions with my friend. And there were some people in the class that were doing what like traditional Kundalini is thought to be, where they were like twitching and like, Kundalini is not like that. Now, there are people who will argue that and say that, but I think it's putting on airs, and that's okay if other people don't agree. However, when I finally had my actual experience where it's talked about that, again, the serpent or the energy goes up the spine like this, I was asleep. And it was about maybe a month after finishing these 3 classes, and I'm asleep in bed, and I wake up and I'm half asleep, half awake, and I start to feel this warm current, is all I can think of, going up my spine really slowly. And all of a sudden it hit my brain, and I felt this immense wash of peace that I had never felt before. And then I fell asleep. Oh, you guys, I have goosebumps. What I will say though is, after that was the start. Kundalini is not something that is rosy all the time. After that, my life completely changed. I won't get into that right now, but what Kundalini does is it really lights a fire inside of us to change and to shed the parts of ourselves that are no longer serving us. And yeah, that's part of my story. Since then, I've had probably 3 after that. I had one actually recently where I'll make another video about that. But yeah, that's kind of my experience, and it transformed my life. It opened my heart. It let me feel again. Before that, I had been living like a very dull, depressed existence. And after this happened, it opened my mind and my body to new and immensely interesting, cool things. So what I will say though is, do not try and do this. It can also be very dangerous, and it can invoke spiritual warfare. It can invoke what's the word for people? It can invoke like really intense mental health crisis, spiritual crisis. So if you're wanting to do this, you need to do it with a practitioner, somebody who knows what they're doing, so don't try and do this, okay? So I'm just spreading awareness and trying to share my story so that anybody else who has gone through this can also maybe express what they've gone through. So please let me know in the comments, and if you know anybody who has been through this, share it there too. Have a great day. I love you.